In the middle of a mundane city, a creature awakens, spreading chaos and destruction. Now it's time for Sonic and friends to save the world. Again, this is Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut. Before we get too into this, just some clarification. We're playing the Steam version of this game with no mods. So no widescreen, no Dreamcast models, no glitch patches. With that being said, let's move on to Sonic's first ever grand voyage into the third dimension. Get ready everyone, this is gonna be a ride. For the sake of this video, we'll be dividing this review by characters' stories. So where's a better place to start than Sonic? Oh yeah! This is happening! We find ourselves in the middle of a police encounter with a strange liquid creature. And surprisingly, shooting at it has no effect. Who could have guessed? The police leave because screw changing tactics or whatever, and Sonic takes on the beast itself. Itself? I think that's supposed to be himself. What the f- I read this over like 2 times and how did I not catch this? This is our first boss fight and our first short look at the controls. For the most part, Sonic controls smoothly. His run is mostly smooth, with the biggest problem being changing directions when moving fast, but we'll get into that later. Sonic gains a new move in this game called the homing attack. This move makes hitting enemies in 3D actually bearable. Sonic still needs rings to survive and still loses them all when he's getting hit, so there's nothing new from the classic games there. We'll talk more about gameplay as we go along, so we'll move on for now. Anyways, Chaos's first fight isn't tough, just bop him on the head a bit and he's down. After losing, Chaos retreats to the sewers, and Eggman, just barely off screen, shouts how powerful Chaos could be. Wait, why the hell is Eggman on the roof? Wasn't Sonic just up there like a minute ago? Who cares? We now move on to the next day with Sonic relaxing in a hotel pool he definitely didn't pay for. Suddenly, Tails' plane flies by, seemingly crashing.
Tails? What am I gonna do with you?
Sonic, Tails is dead. We get our first level now with Emerald Coast. We won't be going too in-depth on levels for the sake of time, so just a little heads up for now. This is where we get to experience Sonic Adventure's controls in full. Sonic builds up speed nicely. The spin dash is quick and powerful. I have no complaints here. No. The controls aren't what I usually have a problem with. We'll get into what I do have a problem with later. And remember when Sonic used to build up speed? Man, I miss that. Anyways, Emerald Coast being the first level is obviously the easiest. I've always liked the beach levels, preferred this over Green Hill at least. I know Sonic has done beach levels before and after this one, but I still like Emerald Coast the most. Sonic 06 and Advanced have nothing on this, baby. Especially with the music. Oh my lord! This stream is so calming and exciting, it perfectly encapsulates the energy of the stage. I could literally listen to the song for hours. In fact, let's just get this out of the way. This entire soundtrack is awesome. Automatically an A+ for me. God damn. See me after class, baby. Also, the stage has a fun, memorable part with the whales. What the hell did the whales have against Sonic? What, did he kill their family or something? Getting back on track, Sonic saves Tails. After returning to the hotel, Tails reveals he was using a Chaos Emerald to power his plane. This isn't the first time we've seen Emeralds power contraptions. Sonic 3 and Knuckles did it first, I believe, but it's the first time we've seen a Chaos Emerald specifically do this. Tails says to meet him in his workshop in Mystic Ruins. I want to take some time to mention the NPCs you can talk to around here. They are genuinely pretty interesting sometimes. With every stage you beat, they change dialogue, which is a lot of effort to put into something most players won't be bothered with. Little details like that go a long way in making the environment feel alive. This is generally more effort than most modern AAA games. That's kind of sad. Anyways, I decided to take a short detour to the Chow Garden. We aren't going to be spending much time here, so I'll be quick. Here you can raise and race small critters named Chow. In the original release, you could also carry Chow with you on this little Tamagotchi thingy, but that isn't available here. Animals you collect from stages will appear here as little buffs to give your Chow. With that being said, I don't care much for this kind of thing in games, so that's the last I'll talk about Chow. You know, unless something funny happens. Anyways, heading towards Mystic Ruins, we fight Dr. Ivo Robotnik, or as Sonic calls him, Eggman! This fight is hilarious as Sonic because he can mash the homing attack and wreck his life bar in literal milliseconds. After beating Eggman, he snatches the emerald from Tails, and now we've got to get more emeralds before Eggman does. On my way to the next stage, I found another Chow Garden that I completely forgot existed. I also discovered that the camera in this game is a physical object that can move other objects. Just... why? Regardless, after falling off the face of a cliff, we used a windstone to enter Windy Valley. My god. This song makes me happy. It's so tranquil and simple, I just wish it lasted longer. In fact, I wish the entire first half of the stage in general was longer. You only play it for a couple of seconds before you're whisked into a tornado. It's cool, don't get me wrong, but man, that song. You eventually do find the Chaos Emerald and head back to Station Square. There's this girl at the train station who talks about missing her dad because he stays long nights at the office. Remember this because, my god, she just keeps waiting! It's horrifying. We recover the Lightspeed Dash shoes and the crystal ring. Son of a bitch! The crystal ring. The former lets us do Lightspeed Dash, and the latter lets us do it faster. Heading to the casino, the television says it's open, but the only way in is closed. Huh? Excuse me? How the hell are people supposed to go in then? Why is it open if it's not? We can force it open by hitting the big button with the Lightspeed Dash, but still, that's gotta be an OSHA violation or something. Someone should sue this place. Casinopolis is a small stage with the main goal to get 400 rings. It sounds hard, but it isn't really. We have 2 pinball games we can play to get the rings needed. Sonic Pinball and Nights into Dreams Pinball. Man, that's weird, isn't it? Remember when games used to reference other franchises within the games themselves? You don't see that often nowadays, but it used to be a really big thing. I'm getting off track. It's almost impossible to lose any of these pinball games, partly because it's easily, partly because the physics won't allow it. Yeah, the physics here suck. It doesn't feel like I'm playing pinball. I can't describe what it does feel like I'm playing, but it isn't pinball. The Nights into Dreams pinball lets you collect cards of what I assume are the characters in the game. Not that I know, I never played the damn thing, but matching them gets you rings. You can also travel between 2 pinball sets and get a little cutscene in between, which is pretty neat. It's super archaic though, this texture isn't even moving, it's just static. They couldn't even be bothered to use a GIF or something. Sonic Pinball is a lot simpler, it's just slots. If you don't get enough rings here, you can end up in the sewers, but for some reason I couldn't get this working, so we'll have to talk about that later. Leaving the casino, Sonic and Tails get gassed and pass out. Another emerald down, and the two really have to pick up the pace. Before heading off, there's this kid who wants to talk to his mom, but his mom is a gambling addict who can't stop going to the casino at night. Sicko, what the fuck is this? Alright, now for Ice Cap. This is a pretty fine stage in all honesty. The first 2 parts are pretty slow moving. I'm not a fan of the icicle gimmick, it's slow, tedious, and I want to move now, please. My god! The standout moment is the snowboarding sequence. Hell yeah! Now this is peak Sonic. Snowboarding down a hill with snow chasing just behind you while robots shoot at you. This is the action sequence I love seeing in Sonic games. It makes this game feel a lot more energetic. It's a really fun segment that saves this level from being completely boring for me. Phew! Moving on from the high, we find Knuckles, who immediately attacks. I just realized I'm gonna have to describe the same fucking scene 2 more times. Fuck. He wants Sonic's emeralds for some reason. Sonic won't give them to him, and they fight. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Finn. Eggman steals the emeralds, and now we gotta fight Chaos 4. Oh my god, end me now. This fight is fine. It's fine. But you have to do it 3 times. Once for Sonic, once for Tails, once for Knuckles. This fight is fine the first time, but my god, does it get boring quick. You just wait around for him to pop his head up and then bonk it. It's easy, but it takes forever to do this. He seems to like messing around and knocking lily pads down rather than actually attacking Sonic. This fight is so boring, I'm almost tempted to do literally anything else. Luckily, it doesn't last long, and Eggman retreats to his egg carrier. Thank God that ship isn't pregnant. Tails suggests using his new and improved plane, and Knuckles stays back. Now we got a shoot 'em up sequence on the tornado. I don't like this sequence for one reason. You can't speed it up. You have to do this 4 times, by the way. Twice for Sonic, twice for Tails, and it's the same every single time. You just move around and spam the shoot button and hope for the best. Literally, nothing can ever hit you, and nothing happens. It'd be fine if you could speed it up with skill or something, but you can't, so it sucks. Once it's over, Eggman shoots you down and you end up back in Emerald Coast. I visited the Chow Garden before moving on, and one of my children was drowning. He deserves this. We can't use the train because the workers are on strike, and now this kid's dad has no way of coming home. Yet she's still waiting there. Staring. I swear this could be made into a really shitty creepypasta if you tried hard enough. Sonic then unwillingly walks into the presence of Amy Rose, who wants him to take care of some random bird she found. If someone said this to me, I'd honestly have a pretty similar reaction. Before moving on, the gambling addict mom says she doesn't know how she got here, and her feet have a mind of her own. Someone get this woman some help, Jesus Christ. Back to the story, Sonic and Amy run into some robot that was chasing Amy, but she quickly gets distracted by a cute couples get in free sign deal at Twinkle Park, and runs in, forcing Sonic to follow her. Ah, Twinkle Park. I got run over here.
No!
Here, you can control cars that are far too stiff to ever be fun. The stage is actually pretty fun after the beginning bit. You ride a roller coaster, do some bowling, scale a castle. I wish they'd revisit this theme again in some future Sonic game. I feel like it has a lot of potential to be interesting. It doesn't last long, however, as Sonic quickly loses Amy and has to find her again. The girl is still standing here waiting for her father. Is she gonna be here all night? Who cares? We've got Speed Highway. Oh yeah, man. This song makes me wanna move, baby. Yeah, move. Remember when I said we'd talk more about gameplay problems later? I think this is a good time to bring it up. Watch this. You see that? That's why it's not fun to play this game sometimes. The controls are fine, but this game has so much jank it almost doesn't matter. This happens a lot, by the way, so I'll be bringing it up again, man. But, man, I hate this game's jank. On to something happier. We get to run down an entire goddamn building. This is totally epic. It doesn't last long, but it feels badass. That makes this whole stage worth it. Returning to the station square, she's still there. She says she knows her dad wants to come home soon. My god, she's in denial. Get this kid some therapy, stat! Sonic sees Amy being taken away by Rowan and decides to cut him off in the mystic ruins. Catching up, Sonic gets cut off by the beam from the egg carrier and has to climb up the mountain to give chase. Also, before moving on to the next stage, you need to pick up the ancient light power-up near an unrelated rock nearby. This lets you do the light speed attack, something that's only ever useful like, twice throughout the entire game? It's never required, so not sure why they thought this was a good idea. Alrighty, Red Mountain. This stage is pretty interesting. It reminds me of Half-Life, to be honest with you. The gimmick here is ziplining around, I guess? It's pretty cool. You end up within the mountain and have to avoid lava hazards. The music here is great. Outside it feels adventurous and inside it feels foreboding. Sonic Adventure knows how to set the mood for each level. Something that's severely missing in modern titles. I also found this bug where Sonic just circled around the item box and didn't stop for a while. Not sure why that happened. Also, who the hell are these guys? Why are they in prison? What crimes did they commit? I guess it doesn't matter, the lava eats them up, but still. What the hell are those guys? Coilman aside, Sonic makes it to the top but can't get to the egg carrier because it's flying. Not sure what Sonic was thinking here, to be honest. Luckily enough for him, Tails shows up and forces him to do another tornado segment. Fun! This is literally the same as the last one, except you fight the laser cannon at the end. Ew. Sonic wants to land, but Tails didn't put any landing gear in. This is fine though, because they managed to land anyways. But shortly after the fact, Eggman transforms the egg carrier, forcing the dude to go through the sky deck to make it to him. Oh boy. Sky deck. My least favorite stage in this game. I'm not joking. This stage is the buggiest piece of shit I have ever witnessed in my life. Where do I even start? The camera here is atrocious and constantly blocks your view. The stage has an automated dash panel sequences that break very frequently. This jump is physically impossible. As Sonic, trust me, I tried. I hate this stage, man. And then you're on the outside of the ship where the wind can push you off. That's fine though, the spin dash is strong enough to keep you on. To the man who made these turrets. Why? There's a segment where a bunch of planes take off that could have been fun, but Sonic kept slipping off everything, so I guess I'll die. And here a turret gunned me down when I fell off the side of the ship. Fun! You blow up a big turret and, my god, there's still more! This part is easy at least. You can skip to the end if you jump off this ramp. Not like I managed to do it. And the level's over, thank Christ! Sonic then finds Amy and Eggman facing off as Eggman steals the Amy Bird's emerald. What the fuck is this writing? My god, my script is actually ass. Eggman then summons E102 Gamma to fight Sonic off. Sonic beats it up, Amy says to keep it alive because she loves it or something, and Sonic pisses off to fight Eggman before the ship crashes. Now it's time to fight Chaos 6, who suffers a similar problem from Chaos 4, that being having to fight it multiple times. Once as Sonic, once as Knuckles, and a short one with Big the Cat. It's fine, I guess. You hit the little Eggman boss to disable them, and then get Chaos to suck them up, freezing him. Then you can lightspeed attack him and finish him up quickly. Chaos is defeated, and Sonic jumps off the edge of the egg carrier to chase off Eggman. Sonic somehow survives his fall and finds the next stage, Lost World. I love the theming of this level a lot. First is this stone snake room that feels like you could glitch off it at any moment. Then it's this dark room that I died in because of something pushing me off. Seriously, what happened here? Then I died by falling off. Fuck! Then a short water slide, which was cool, and a chase with a boulder. This camera almost made me fall off here. So far the gimmicks were fine, some pretty good, but now we get to the stupid wall panel crap. You line up these panels to get them to glow so you can stick on them. That's not the problem. The problem are the goddamn spikes in camera. Look at this. I did not touch that, goddammit! And the camera didn't show me it was there! Fuck these spike traps, seriously, the collision is just unfair. After that, we finish the stage and find some ancient murals that transport Sonic into a flashback. The world is on fire, and a woman, whose name I'll just reveal now because it's not that important, Tikal talks about how terrible everything is. She says she must stop this now before going up to the Master Emerald and ending the flashback. Okay. That was, something, I suppose. Sonic wakes back up and finds Eggman fleeing to his newly erected base. Erected. Phil, cut this part out. I love the fact that this base comes out of literally nowhere. This isn't important, but we can actually find Metal Sonic here too. Nice. Alrighty, Sonic's final stage, Final Egg. This is a pretty decent stage in all honesty. Rightfully challenging, nice setting, banger music. The only part that sucks is the janking camera messing up my jumps. Also, watch this. No! What the fuck just happened? If this game ever got the HD treatment, I'd like to see this stage in Emerald Coast first. I love the aesthetics of the zone. No reason. Now with the area done, we have Sonic's final boss. This boss is actually pretty easy if you know what to do. Avoid the lasers, hit the button, and then Eggman. When he throws his spiky pads at you, stand still and jump onto them, then you have an easy shot at the boss. Also make sure not to fuck! With Eggman defeated, Sonic meets up with Tails and his story ends. In all honesty, Sonic's gameplay here is not nearly as bad as I remember it being. It was actually pretty fun at times. For his first official 3D outing, Sega did a legitimately good job transitioning Sonic's 2D gameplay into 3D. It really makes me wonder how things would have been if they kept improving his gameplay style instead of immediately scrapping it for Sonic Adventure 2. And I know what you're thinking. Don't they use the same gameplay style? No, there are a lot of differences that make Sonic Adventure 2 a completely different game from 1, but now I'm just getting off track. All in all, Sonic's campaign is pretty solid. Sonic's campaign is solid. Ah, fuck, there's multiple characters, isn't there? Alright, Tails! You know, he's voiced by an actual kid in this game. Of course you know, it's absolutely terrible. Also, we're going to skip recapping most of what happened, because if I have to write out every damn thing that happened in every story over and over again, I think I'm going to hang myself. Since we're skipping most repeat story beats, I might as well mention that the cutscenes do actually differ from character to character. The overall cutscene is the same, but dialogue and character focus is completely different. It doesn't drastically change the story, but it is a nice amount of effort to make each campaign feel unique. Let's skip to Tails' first stage, Windy Valley. Unlike Sonic, Tails' stages revolve around him racing Sonic. You don't play the full stages, only certain sections, which drastically cut down the time it takes to complete it. Tails isn't as fast as Sonic, he can't even spin dash in this game or homing attack, but he can fly, which is pretty useful for finding and using shortcuts to cut around Sonic. Speaking of that, that's what you'll be doing most of the time. Sonic isn't hard to beat. Even at my absolute worst, Sonic still couldn't catch up to me. Tails can't fly for a long time in this game, only a couple seconds before he tires out, but it's usually long enough to skip half the entire stage. The race between Sonic and Tails is more like a friendly rivalry than an actual race. The stage itself is fine, it's just Windy Hill. It's neither better nor worse than Sonic's version. In fact, most stages are like this, except one. Oh boy, just you wait, that one drives me crazy. Before we move on, I'll just mention that Tails builds up speed just like Sonic, and besides the spin dash and homing attack, they control exactly the same. Beating the stage, I found two women who said Tails looked cute. I guess it's pretty realistic to what people would say be like in real life, huh? People look at bears, creatures that could tear them apart and go, "Oh, ain't that cute? Motherfucker, that bear will kill you." We can pick up the jet anklet in the sewer area for some reason that allows Tails to fly faster. Hey, that's actually a pretty good idea for a power-up. I checked out the child garden before moving on, and now both of my children fail me by drowning. This is why I don't have kids, damn it. Next stage is Casinopolis, says sewer area. Finally, I can actually talk about this area. It's supposed to be a punishment for failing the casino games, but it's really a reward with the amount of rings you can pick up here. It's a pretty fun area as Sonic with some challenging obstacles to dodge around. As Tails, it's like flying over traffic. Still fun, but significantly easier. It only lasts around a minute, but it's a pretty fun minute. You know what happens next. Sonic and Tails get gas, head over to Ancient Ruins, and enter Ice Cap. This stage is just of a snowboarding segment from Sonic's stage. I feel like this completely ruins the point of using Tails' ability to pull ahead of Sonic, but whatever. Then we get the Knuckles fight, except Tails decides to be the main character in this cutscene. He's literally just as easy as in Sonic's campaign. In Tails' story, he's the one who loses 2 Chaos Emeralds, which makes the amount of times he loses emeralds for us in this story 3 times! Tails, stop holding the damn emeralds! Oh boy, it's Chaos 4, remember? Wasn't it fun the first time? Wanna do it again? Why are you holding a noose? Yeah, fuck this fight, it's the same as Sonic's with no changes whatsoever. Did you find redoing bosses fun? What about the tornado segment? Yeah! I love this game! I hope they die this time. We actually get a flashback to when Tails was younger and first found Sonic. But this flashback takes place in the Mystic Ruins. Wasn't Tails born on West Side Island? Is this area supposed to represent the island? It's confusing because I can't tell if they're trying to represent the island or Mystic Ruins. It doesn't matter in the long run, I just thought it was confusing. Tails wants to find another Chaos Emerald to power the tornado. Apparently he hasn't learned his fucking lesson yet, and finds Froggy eating an emerald in front of him, and heading into some sandy area beyond this wall. This leads Tails to a specific boarding sequence in Sand Hill. This is more of a minigame than an actual level. You just board down the sandy hill and try to get through as many hoops as you can before the end. I don't believe this affects your score or anything, I'm not sure what this is all about. Tails gets a flashback to the past where he obtains the Rhythm Badge, which lets him do this tail attack continuously. I didn't mention the tail attack before now, mainly because there wasn't a need to, but yeah, Tails has a tail attack. Tails meets Tikal, where she talks about some phrase her grandmother taught her. The servers are the seven chaos. Chaos is power. Power enriched by my farts. It ends shortly before Tails can give her his name. Tails catches Froggy, but not for long, as Big the Cat shows up and horrifies Tails into forcing him to let go of Froggy. Or at least I think that's what happens. This cutscene is super confusing because of the basic animation and the lackluster voice acting. Tails fixes up a new tornado improvement and launches out of the side of a cliff? What? Since when was that there? Didn't Tails just show that he has a runway? Maybe it's to show how this new tornado's improved. Or maybe it's because they thought it was just cooler, who knows. Tails meets up with Sonic and fun! I'm having so much fun! End me, please, I'm begging you. Finally on board the egg carrier and onto Skydeck. Remember Sonic's campaign? Remember when I said it was buggy? Guess what? It's somehow worse with Tails! The camera won't work with me here! I glitched through the floor there! Why can't I fly to that platform? Why is there an invisible wall? Why is Sonic still jumping? I hate this place. Thank God it only lasts a minute. We fight Gamma, beat him up, Amy saves him, and we fly Amy out of there. Upon landing, Tails notices Eggman trying to launch a missile into Station Square to destroy the town. Luckily it's a dud, but Eggman plans to manually blow it up, and now Tails has to race Eggman through Speed Highway to shut down the missile before Eggman can get his hands on it. Okay, you know what? That jump was entirely my fault. This stage is actually vastly different from Sonic's version. It's pretty fun to play as Tails in. If the AI were smarter or faster, this could be a legitimate challenge, but it's not. If you know what you're doing even a little bit, you'll beat it within a minute. The AI here is just, my god. Finally! A unique cutscene! Eggman decides that he's had enough of this and uses this thing to try and beat Tails.
You fool. Away, before I make mincemeat out of you.
God, I fucking love that line. The Egg Walker is a pretty fun boss fight. It requires you to hit these...
Get a load of this!
As I was saying, you need to...
Get a load of this! Get a load of this!
Eggman, please, I'm trying to...
Get a load of this! Get a load of this! Get a load of this!
Eggman! Shut the fuck up! It's not a hard fight, but I did get hit a lot for some reason. It ends with Eggman losing and Tails realizing he beat Eggman by himself. I'm not sure why Sega makes a big deal about Tails being reliant on Sonic and needing to spread his wings nowadays. He's been doing that since 2003. Anyways, Tails flies to Sonic and the story ends. Each story we do will get progressively shorter and shorter, so don't expect these to get longer from here on out, alright? So Tails' story was pretty fun romp. I wouldn't call it my favorite though. Most stages are barely a minute long, which makes them feel unfulfilling and underwhelming. He controls fine, but the jank still fucks him up, and his story is barely an hour long. I don't mind short campaigns, but for Tails it feels like I legitimately did nothing most of the time. This problem only gets worse as the game goes on, by the way. Regardless, that's Tails' campaign. Who's that knocking at my door?
Knock, knock, it's Knuckles.
Aw, shit, homie, my bad, come in. Knock, knock, it's Knuckles! His story. It's actually quite different from Sonic's. It starts with Angel Island floating in the sky with the egg carrier closing in. Knuckles monologues about his life on Angel Island when suddenly something rumbles and a strange creature appears out of the Master Emerald, shattering it in the process. Knuckles attacks, but to no avail, falling down a flight of stairs. Chaos retreats, and Knuckles now has to find the missing Master Emerald pieces to help Angel Island return to the sky. That would kill so many people. This guy has some pretty fun dialogue about not letting anyone through a barricade. Okay, Sega, you win this one. Knuckles' first stage is Speed Highway. Here we see Knuckles' gameplay style. His movement is similar to Tails and Sonic. Builds up speed, can't use homing attack or spin dash, yada yada yada. Knuckles can glide, which is pretty smooth and fast in this game. He can scale and climb any wall, no limit. How does a game from 2003 have more impressive gameplay mechanics than one from 2023? 2 fucking decades later. You can use this radar at the bottom of the screen to see any nearby emeralds. The closer they are, the more they blink and beep. Finding the emeralds is quick and easy and fun. I legitimately enjoy this gameplay style. Oh, also Knuckles can do a 3-hit combo, which is okay, I guess. All in all, I prefer to play as Knuckles over Tails, which is crazy. Enjoy this while it lasts, folks. It's the only time Knuckles is fun in a 3D Sonic game. I'm not joking. Leaving Speed Highway, our next stage is Casinopolis. This is actually pretty cool. There's an entire second floor you can't reach as Sonic or Tails that you can as Knuckles. This is what they should have done for more of Knuckles' stages. It expands the area and makes it feel more unique. This stage is cool. I give this giant lion that interrupts the end score a 10 out of 10. Knuckles then gets a flashback to Tikal speaking to her father. Tikal doesn't want him to steal and use the 7 Chaos Emeralds from the Chow tribe. Her father isn't having it though and goes through with it anyways. Knuckles enters the hotel and finds Eggman holding a shiny object. He follows him into a dining area where Eggman reveals it's a Chaos Emerald, not a Master Emerald. Eggman then decides that this is the perfect time to practice Chaos' abilities, and Knuckles now has to face off against Chaos 2. This fight is actually pretty similar to the others, but Chaos does a couple of different moves, which I guess makes it more unique. You basically have to wait until Chaos does this hand swipe thingy to suck him in the face. He'll bounce around and do this ball attack or whatever the fuck this is, but you can only hit him after the hand swipe. Bonk him until he dies, the end. Eggman gets mad that he lost, but reveals that Sonic might have some pieces of the Master Emerald, and lets Knuckles go to confront Sonic. Surprisingly enough, we don't fight Sonic soon after this. Instead, we get the Shovel Claws and a Monkey Destruction Switch that we need to enter Red Mountain. Before that, however, I visited my unborn children and made them look like a dong. Also, this happened. Getting back on track, you can use the switch on the monkey and enter Red Mountain. This area is just the outside parts of Red Mountain, and out of all the levels, this one is my favorite. It's expansive, open, and the emerald locations are fairly decent. Oh, also Knuckles can dig now, but it's not used very much in this game. Okay, now we get to the Sonic fight. Knuckles sees Sonic carrying a green emerald and just assumes it's a Master Emerald. Knuckles, you know there's a green Chaos Emerald. You stole them in Sonic 3. Are you stupid? You fight Sonic, the emerald is stolen, and for the love of God, can we just stop already? God is merciful, however. We don't have to play the stupid tornado segment as Knuckles. Instead, we head to Mystic Ruins to put some statues in some pedestals? By the by, there's an optional upgrade here called the Fighting Gloves that lets you try and fail to charge up energy for some super attack. You're supposed to find this silver statue in the middle of this forest, but my god, it took me far too long to do this. There isn't any indication of where it is. You're just supposed to fuck around until you just happen to stumble upon it. Fuck this sequence. Knuckles' Lost World level takes place in the goddamn it, not this room again. Same bullshit as Sonic's level with nothing new to see here. Knuckles has another flashback to Tikal begging the Master Emerald to help, but apparently he doesn't want to move or something? Having no other choice, he goes to speak to her father again. Knuckles then restores the Master Emerald, but it's still missing some pieces which can be found in the egg carrier. Knuckles notices Gamma walking about and follows him to Eggman's forest base. Wait, didn't the forest base pop up after the egg carrier crashed? This makes no sense. Knuckles sneaks onto the egg carrier, it changes shape, and now we get to Knuckles' worst stage, Skydeck. The gimmick for this stage is a lever that tilts the ship in the opposite direction of where it's pointing. Not only is this confusing, it also sucks as I swear this thing does not work properly. I mean, look! Just grab this stupid fucking switch, I swear to God, just grab it, it's right there, tilt it this way. No, not that fucking direction! Fuck me, this stupid thing just fucking sucks! 0 out of 10, fuck the stage. Knuckles then has one final flashback to a temple burning and Tikal stating she failed to stop them. Tikal gets up and the flashback ends. Knuckles then faces off against Chaos 6, and the fight is the exact same as Sonic except the charge attack refuses to work with this one. You beat Chaos 6, fix the Master Emerald, and Knuckles' campaign is over. I personally like Knuckles' story more overall than Tails. Tails feels like a repeat of Sonic's campaign, which is fitting but also repetitive. Overall, Knuckles' campaign is great fun, and there goes the last of the fun campaigns. What do I have to talk about next anyways? Oh dear God, no! Okay, Amy Rose. I think this is the first time we see this more modern design of hers. It works in this game, but looks terrible in modern games. How the hell does that even happen? Amy's story starts by her romanticizing the adventures she used to go on with Sonic. I know this flashback is supposed to reference Sonic CD, but why then do they use Beta Windy Hill and Egg Carrier levels as a background? A bird hits her in the face and she decides she needs to take care of it and starts getting chased by a robot. She evades it and eventually bumps into Sonic. Then the whole Twinkle Park fiasco starts up again, and now we play as Amy. Oh boy. Amy controls like a crippled Sonic. Her max speed is severely hampered. She also has a hammer that she can slam down to either attack at a standstill or somersault with a high jump. This would all be fine if you didn't need to be at max speed to do the somersault. Because of this, you end up trying to do the stupid somersault, only to stop dead in your tracks and slam the ground like a fucking dumbass. As if that wasn't bad enough, the gimmick for this campaign is that Amy is being chased by this robo-dick that tries to kill her. The robot isn't a threat in the slightest. Oftentimes it disappears for no conceivable reason, but it is annoying. I could see Amy being a fun character to play as with a couple tweaks, but as it stands she's frustrating and boring to play as. And her stages are somewhat bearable at least. I feel like if I were playing these stages as either Sonic, Knuckles, or Tails, I'd be having more fun. Instead I'm playing as Amy and every stage feels like a slog. I do appreciate the added areas in Twinkle Park that help flesh out the area, but it's nowhere near enough fun for me to want to play them as Amy for it. Amy escapes the robot for a whole of 15 seconds before being kidnapped by it and being brought aboard the egg carrier. She gets interrogated by Gamma, who has a change of heart after having what I can only assume to be a robot stroke in front of a bird. Amy then has to do this pretty fun minigame in all honesty and gets the Warrior Feather, which lets her do the spin hammer attack. This move is completely useless and is never required once throughout the entirety of Amy's campaign. Incredible. Amy's next stage is Hot Shelter. This area has you standing completely still to turn these valves to progress. I shouldn't have to explain why waiting completely still in a Sonic game is a dumb design choice. There's exactly one creative moment in this stage, where the robot breaks through the computer screen and then it's over. If it seems like I'm moving through the story quickly, it's because the story is literally nothing. There is nothing here. I've seen homeless people with more something than this campaign. Amy then has this flashback that spawns you in a completely wrong area, by the way. You need to leave the shrine to progress, so I have no clue why the developers place you here. Even this flashback is a complete nothing. It just shows Tikal being friends with Chow. My god, who the hell wrote this stupid story? Moving on, we get the whole Gamma vs Sonic routine and Amy leaves with Tails. Amy finds out that the bird's pendant has a photo of its family and just assumes Eggman has them in his base. We then play Final Egg, Amy's final level, and it's just Sonic's stage, but worse in every conceivable way. Every time I play a stage I've played as Sonic, it just makes me want to play as Sonic instead. This entire stage is a waste of time as Amy finds nothing whatsoever and heads to the egg carrier. Amy reunites the bird's family, but the bird gets shot by the robot, and now Amy has to fight the robot. If you're wondering why I'm not using any of their names, it's because I don't care, alright? I don't fucking care! This fight is simple. Hit him into the electric fence, and then hit him in the head. Amy kills the robot, and her story is over. Thank God! This is a complete definition of bloat. Nothing significant happens in this story that couldn't have happened in literally any other story. It's a complete waste of time with the worst version of Sonic's gameplay to boot. But I wouldn't consider it the worst story. No. That would have to be Big the motherfucking cat! Oh my god. Who the fuck thought this was a good idea? This is the most worthless story ever. Big wakes up one day as Froggy consumes Kale, and then Big's Chaos Emerald. Then Froggy runs away and Big Bay has to chase him. You know what, I fucked up that sentence, but I'm not even gonna go back to fix it. Fuck this level. This is it. This is the entire fucking story, just repeated 5 more goddamn times. The first level is Twinkle Park, and my god, this gameplay is boring as hell. It's simple, really. You hold the action button to ready your rod and release it to throw. Throw it near Froggy, reel it in slowly to get his attention, and pray to God he takes the damn bait. Once he does, mash the reel in button and you'll be good. Don't hold it down or you'll risk breaking the rod. That's it. That's the entire fucking gameplay loop. Why? Dear God, why? Ice Cap is next, and if you're wondering why I'm not recapping the story, it's because there isn't fucking one. And this stage is by far the worst. You have to use these rocks to break open specific areas in the ice to fish, but I wasn't aware of that at first, and ended up wasting so much time I decided to restart. It's confusing to find where the fuck this stupid frog is, and I can't fucking stand it anymore! Fuck me! Who in their right mind thought this would be a good idea? God, end me now! Please! I beg of you! Big of a fucking cat gets the fucking life belt in the stupid fucking ice cave and meets Chills the fucking fox holding Froggy the fucking frog! A cutscene happens! Emerald Coast! Ah! Finally, I have a stupid fucking frog. No! Why the fuck does Big have a flashback sequence? Why the fuck does Big have a flashback sequence? This is probably more important cutscene than what Amy got, and that's both hilarious and sad. Anyways, Chaos eats Froggy, Big fishes Froggy. The fucking end! My god, this is a complete waste of time! It's like someone took Amy's story and made it worse. How the fuck do you even do that? What drugs are these people on? Oh lord, there's one more campaign, isn't there? Oh, it's Gamma's. Shit, alright, I'll buy. Gamma's story is actually pretty interesting. It starts with Eggman awakening Gamma and having him perform some tests. Our first level is Final Egg. Gamma's gameplay is pretty fun, actually. You go around locking onto targets and shooting them when you have a high number of lock-ons. The more lock-ons, the more time gets added to the stage. It's like a better, more active version of the tornado segments. They're stupid easy though, you'll never run out of time, but you know what? I don't care. It's fun and that's all that matters. Eggman then has Gamma fight his older brother to prove his worth. After beating his brother, Eggman is impressed and takes Gamma on board the Egg Carrier to carry out his tasks. His first task is to find Froggy in Emerald Coast. I don't have much to say in terms of level design, as most of the levels are flat to account for the more shoot-'em-up style, but that doesn't mean they're bad. Gamma also controls similarly to Sonic, just not as fast. We then get a flashback sequence. Wait, really? As Gamma? Okay. Tikal just talks about Chaos being the protector of the Chow and how her father wants to beat them up and how she hopes she can change his mind. Gamma wakes up to the horrifying image of this lump of fat some people call a man, and once more is praised on a good job. Eggman then tasks Gamma to retrieve Amy's bird from her by any means necessary. Gamma opens the wrong door and sees the robot equivalent of walking in on someone taking a shower. This produces one of my favorite Gamma lines of all time.
This is the wrong room.
He then has a conversation with Amy about being a good person and not a bad person and being friends and having free will or something. Gamma lets Amy go and is called up by Eggman to deal with Sonic and Tails. Gamma beats both of them, but Amy stops and tells him to stop working for Eggman. This is when Gamma begins to realize that he wants to save his friends or something, and that Eggman is a bad man. He then makes it his mission to save his friends by killing them. What, you don't feel the need to murder your friends close to you? Windy Valley is next, and god fucking damn it, and we fight E103 blah blah blah. I don't know what the symbol is, and I don't care. Gamma frees him and heads on to the next target in Red Mountain to free E104 Hugh. Then he heads to Hot Shelter, intending to free Beta. This stage is actually the first time we see the full version of the stage. It's really fun. You're blowing up boxes, getting picked up by claws, riding trains. This is fucking awesome! Gamma doesn't find Beta, but instead E105 This fight, although it looks fairly different, is pretty easy. All you do is aim and shoot his cannons and then the fight is over. Gamma finally finds E101, now E101 Mark II. This fight is actually one of the best fights in the game. The camera focuses well on the boss fight, the moves are well telegraphed, and the camera even zooms out for some more cinematic moves. They really put in extra effort for this boss fight, and it shows. Despite all his upgrades, however, Beta falls, but not before vitally wounding Gamma. Gamma explodes and reunites with his family as a bird. This story is awesome. It's a fun shoot-'em-up with genuinely exciting level design, and a story that doesn't make me want to blow my fucking brains out. I wouldn't mind playing this one over for a better score, to be honest with you. After all the crap you go through with Amy and Big, I'm glad that Gamma was a decent campaign. But that's not the last campaign. No. We've got one more, baby. We've got the last supersonic story to cover. Let's go, baby! This story starts with Eggman angered at his latest failure, before stumbling upon Chaos once more. We then cut to Knuckles confused as to why Angel Island is falling despite the Master Emerald being in its rightful place. He contemplates talking to Sonic, but is quickly sidelined by Eggman being face down on the ground, and then gets jumped by Chaos. We cut once more to Sonic relaxing under a tree, only to be interrupted by what the fuck Tails telling him that Angel Island is falling again. Sonic and Tails then go to check out the situation. They find both Knuckles and Eggman knocked out and get updated on the fact Tails is alive and has almost all the Chaos Emeralds. Before he can get to the last emerald, he is interrupted by one flashback, this one being the day the Knuckles clan attacked the Chow and Tikal, unknowingly unleashing chaos. Tikal then uses the Master Emerald to seal Chaos and her within it. Sonic wakes up to the most horrified face on planet Earth and heads out to find the last Chaos Emerald, which should still be on the Crash Tornado 2. They find it, but Chaos grabs the emerald before they could, officially leaving our heroes in the dust. Chaos then uses his power to annihilate an entire city filled with people. I refuse to believe anyone could have survived this. As far as I'm concerned, all those people are dead. Within the ruined city, Eggman tries one last time to finish Chaos, only to be rocketed away in Team Rocket fashion. Tikal then reveals herself to Sonic and tells him he needs to seal Chaos away, only for Sonic to disagree, saying that sealing Chaos away won't solve the underlying issue that is his anger. The Sonic cast find the Chaos Emeralds, and Tails reveal that Chaos only used the negative energy of the emeralds, and that Sonic should still be able to use the positive energy. I'm not sure how Tails knows this, but okay. The last 3 people alive in what was once Station Square cheer Sonic on as he transforms into Super Sonic. I actually like the Super Sonic design, more than the modern one at least. I don't know, I just like the fact that his middle spine stays down. Well, I guess it does resemble Shadow a little too much, doesn't it? Wait, isn't that the entire fucking point of Shadow? Who cares? We now get the most badass Sonic song of all time, next to Live and Learn. Chaos's fight is super easy, thankfully. Just avoid the attacks and run into him with a decent amount of speed and you'll land a hit. Super Sonic controls the exact same as normal Sonic, just faster. Chaos has 2 health bars, however, so after depleting the first one, you'll end up in his second phase. Unfortunately, Open Up Your Heart does not play in the second phase. Why? Why, Sega? Why would you do this to me? Who cares? The fight's over within a flash anyways. And with that, Chaos is pacified, and both him and Tikal go to heaven. Tails says the stupidest line of all time.
All's well that ends well, right?
Sonic pisses off to avoid being labeled as a terrorist for the destruction of an entire city, and the game ends. Man, what an ending! So at the end of the day, what can I say? Sonic Adventure is one of my favorite Sonic games. It has its flaws, I won't deny that, but they're nowhere near enough to completely ruin this game for me. The music is excellent, most of the campaigns are fun, and the finale is an adrenaline rush as it should be. With that being said, I think I'm finished reviewing Sonic Adventure. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next adventure, whatever it may be. Sonic isn't hard to beat, even in my Jesus. Tails wants to find another Chaos Emerald to power the tornado. Apparently he hasn't learned his fucking lesson yet. And finds... Okay. We fight Gamma, beat him up, Amy keeps him alive, and Tails flies Amy out of the egg carrier. Oh my god, I'm really bad at reading this shit. Getting back on track, you can use this... Use, motherfucker! Speak, bitch, speak! Knuckles sneaks into the egg carrier, it changes Snape. Is your Snape? This isn't fucking Harry Potter, motherfucker. Knuckles sneaks onto the egg carrier, it changes shape, and now we get Knuckles' worst stage by Skydeck. By Skydeck? Knuckles it was made by the fucking stage. Amy finds out that the pendant bird has a... Pendant bird? Amy finds out that the pendant... Fuck off! Amy reunites the bird's family, but the bird gets... Amy... He contemplates talking about Sonic. What? Sonic wakes up to the most horrified face on the planet Earth. What?